when you see that a teacher cares so much about something, somehow there's that little, I guess, like, I don't know, it's like a little aroma that ends up coming into the student, and the student becomes more interested in what the teacher is teaching and ends up becoming exposed to more challenging and more higher level ideas that they wouldn't themselves not have thought of.
I think that because teachers like that, the ones that you would like go off a cliff for, because teachers like that are the ones that come in asking you like how your day is, how your other classes are going, how your family's going. They're the ones who invest in you and take the time to get to know you. And
there's a time where I have her class now. It's an AP Lit class.
Oh, okay.
And then I was struggling because like all my classes and the schedule and then the school and all that stuff, and it's just real hard. And I guess I was really not feeling like myself, she said, and she really helped me out because we had like a conference or whatever with me, her, and my mom, and then it really felt good because she told me that she really cares about me and stuff as like a student, and I'm like family to her since I always come see her and stuff all the time. So it felt really good to know that she cared that much and that she's like family to me now.
Being a community aware teacher is different from being community connected. And I'm not referring to either one of those things. I would say community aware is knowing what the boundaries are, what the resources are, where the community is, and what the sort of local demographic website says about this community. A community connected teacher is maybe a teacher who, like I've been to the Boys and Girls Club and I know who the director is, and I've been to the library and I send my students there. But there's sort of a different type of sort of perspective and stance as it relates to being an educator in the community, and I think for now I'd describe that as community grounded, meaning like my feet are in the community, my roots are in this community, I'm planted and I belong to and in this community.
so if a teacher's not caring and not having any input or any can't think of the word, like any investment in their students, then there's really no point in being a teacher. There's really no point in trying to have that as a profession because it's kind of a waste of time.
The really personal connection to it, I feel like if we just would have shown them the national data, they could have been like, that's not me, that doesn't matter to me. But we showed them data from this year, from their school, and many of them were part of that statistic. The students who were so engaged, I know were part of that statistic. They were black males who were suspended that semester. And so the really personal connection like really escalated the engagement.
Whenever I had a student, and I think I still do this today, I'd want to know who that student was before I tried to teach them content.
But yeah, ones that can connect on your level or just understand you for who you are more better teachers for me, at least.
And so because of the relationship that Miss G has with all of the students and that I have with all of the students, they feel like it was a safe place for them to get angry and to be allowed to curse and to be allowed to be upset. And so I feel like that played a role in it too, like our community, both in the classroom and as a school, and like that they know that we care about them.
I really do, and I really have a difficult time with people who say, well, they just don't get it. No.
Or they're just not motivated.
Yeah, right. It's, I think you have to be, I always tell the kids, I said people who are soulful are people who are reflective. And so I hope that you choose to be reflective. So if I'm saying that, I need to demonstrate that.
There were some problems that were quite somewhat difficult, but she put it into an understanding we would understand. Like there was a problem on she did one on stage movement, and it indicated the graphs and how it would move. And she put it as the singer, how he would move. So he put an artist we would know, and we would probably like, wow, look, it's him, and we'd put attention to that. to whatever the question was. So it was a graph, and we had to follow his movements and like follow where he was going, and that actually interested me into finding out his movements. And there was also Jay-Z. I even remember Jay-Z sold T-shirts, and the Prophet, how much he started with, movement equations he used to find out the profits and stuff like that on the graph.
So what I did was I typed up a one-page analysis of the poem. And then I sent it to Cecily and I said, this is what I'm thinking. When they come in, we're going to read the analysis first, and then we're going to go back and read the poem. We're not going to start with the poem first. And she was like, I love it. So we both implemented, and I just felt like I got such good results, because had I not done that, the kids would have shut down. But we read the analysis, we talked about it. So while they were reading, they had a highlighter or a pencil in their hand, and they were highlighting parts that we had talked about in the analysis. And I felt so good about that, because here they are reading and comprehending a really, really difficult poem.
So that was outside of class time sometimes?
Yeah, it's like in the morning after school, lunch.
So she'd come in the morning early to help you?
Yeah.
And she'd take her lunchtime to help you?
Yep.
Sometimes after school?
Yep.
Sounds like she really cared. Okay.
I mean, there's a difference between teaching, these are my ideas, these are my thoughts, this is what you should believe, this is what blah, 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 blah. But there's also bringing yourself into teaching. There's a fine line between that, but Ms. Mazzani did a good job at not having to steer students like, oh, this is what you should do, or this is what you should think, and blah, 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 blah. She was able to express her ideas, and students would think like, hey, wait, that makes sense, and then they end up building off of that and create something totally new from it.
I can't think of another way to be involved deeply in any place. It's like my family. I share blood with them, but I also share values with them. I share time with them. I share stories with them. You know, I've built a history with them, my timeline, the chronology of my life, the development of my identity as a human being is connected to my family. The development of my identity as a professional is connected to a community. So when I think about my role in anywhere in Denver, that will always be the first place I think about, because that's where I've been planted, that's where I've been grounded, that's where I belong. Those are the people I think I owe my professional career to, because they gave me an opportunity to be a part of what they want and what they do. And probably 75% of all the work that I do has that neighborhood in mind.
She was passionate about.
I got such good results.
Like, they're the ones who invest in you.
Understand you for who you are.
This teacher has high expectations.
They know that we care about them.
What we brought to the table.
Their classes are delicious.
Of sort of perspective and stance.
If you're going to be a teacher, I suggest that you go in already caring and knowing that you want to be a teacher.